Understanding something like negative exponents oftentimes is easier if we just look at an example. So let's go ahead and start out with 7 to the 5th, or 7 times 7 times 7 times 7 times 7, 5 sevens. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and divide by 7, or another way of thinking of it is we're going to multiply by 1/7. If we ever want to divide by a number n, we can instead just multiply by its reciprocal, which would be 1 over n. So in this case, if I want to divide by 7, I can just multiply by 1/7, same thing, and that's going to get rid of one of my 7s. So instead of having 5 7s, I'm going to have 4 7s. And we could continue this pattern now we've gotten down to kind of our breaking point here. So 0 is the barrier between our positive values and our negative values. So let's go ahead and see what happens when we multiply, again, just following that same pattern, by 1/7. Again, we've been decreasing by 1 each time with our exponent here. And so we're just following this pattern, and we see that 1/7 is equal to 7 to the -1 power. So let's go ahead and try that again. Well, 1 over 7 times 1 over 7 is really just going to be 1 times 1, or 1 on the top, and on the bottom we get 7 squared. Okay, well let's look at that again and see if we can develop a pattern here. Well, in this case, I know that I'm going to have these 2 1/7 and then one more, so I can be pretty confident that I'm just going to have 1 over 7 to the 3rd, which is equal to 7 to the -3. And I'll just show you the pattern from here. Now, how can we formalize this a little bit? Well, it actually ties back to what I talked about earlier, that multiplying by the reciprocal is the same as dividing. And again, exponents have to do with multiplication and therefore division. So if we look at these examples of our negative exponents, we can come up with the pattern that if we have any number to a negative exponent, it's just equal to the reciprocal of that number to the same exponent. So let's go ahead and look at a more specific example here. Let's say I had 8 to the -3 power. Well, the 8's on the top. To reciprocate it, it's just going to go on the bottom, and then I have taken care of that negative, so it becomes an 8 to the 3rd power. So 8 to the -3 is really just the same as 1 over 8 to the 3rd.